I never thought getting trapped in a blizzard with a complete stranger would feel less like danger and more like falling in love. I never thought getting trapped in a blizzard with a complete stranger would feel less like danger and more like falling in love. But that's exactly what happened in a tiny mountain lodge in Colorado. The weekend everything went wrong and then somehow perfectly right. The storm hit faster than anyone predicted. One minute I was driving through the mountains with a trunk full of camera gear hoping to catch winter wildlife before the season ended, and the next minute the road vanished in a wall of white. I pulled into the first lodge I could find, a quiet wooden cabin with a flickering porch light and a parking lot buried in snow. The wind slammed the door behind me as I rushed inside, and that's when I saw him. Eli. A musician with dark eyes, soft curls, and a flannel shirt that looked like it belonged in every winter romance novel ever written. He stared at me for a second, then laughed gently like he wasn't expecting anyone either. "Looks like we're stuck," he said, nodding toward the window where snow spun like confetti in a furious celebration. We were strangers, but the lodge was small and the storm was loud and the world outside felt too big for just one person. So we sat by the fire, drinking cocoa from mismatched mugs, listening to wind rattle the roof. I told him I was a wildlife photographer. He told me he was a musician hiding from pressure deadlines and a life that demanded too much. Maybe it was the storm, or the quiet, or the crackling fire, but it felt easy to talk to him, almost too easy. By evening, the storm had tripled. Snow pressed high against the windows and the heater hummed like a sleepy heartbeat. Eli tuned his guitar and asked if he could play something he'd been working on. The melody poured into the room, warm, soft, lonely, and hopeful all at once. It wrapped around me like a blanket, and for a moment I forgot the storm existed. "You wrote that?" I whispered. "Yeah," he said, eyes on the strings, "but it sounds better with someone listening." Something fluttered in me, then a small, warm thing I wasn't prepared for. The next morning, the world outside was nothing but white. The ranger station confirmed we weren't going anywhere, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I should have been frustrated, scared, annoyed, anything except relieved, but I didn't want to leave, not yet. Not when being snowed in with Eli felt strangely like breathing easier. We stepped onto the porch, bundled in coats, watching the mountains blur into soft gray. The air was so cold it stung, but his presence beside me felt warm enough to make up for it. I slipped on ice and he caught me steady and certain, his hands warm through his gloves. "Got you," he said with a soft smile. And somehow he did. Later we walked through knee-deep snow to the trees, taking photos and laughing at nothing. I caught a picture of him standing against the snowy ridge, breath fogging in the cold, and when I looked at it on the little camera screen, something inside me tilted. Back at the lodge, he sat close on the rug, by the fire, not touching, but near enough to feel like he was. The storm picked up again, drumming the windows as if reminding us the world was still out there waiting. He glanced at me, then at the fire, then back at me. "I don't want this to end when the road's clear," he said, slow, careful, honest. The words hit me like warmth spreading under my ribs. "I don't either," I said before fear could get in the way. His hand found mine, gentle, deliberate, as if giving me time to pull away. I didn't. I squeezed back instead. His eyes softened with something I couldn't name but felt deeply. "Can I?" he whispered, leaning in only enough to ask, not enough to assume. I nodded. His lips brushed mine, warm, soft, steady, not rushed, not demanding, just real. A kiss that felt like a promise made in the glow of a fire while a storm tried and failed to shake the walls around us. Tomorrow the roads would open. Life would start again. But the moment he kissed me, I knew something important. The storm didn't trap me. It brought me exactly where I needed to be.